Hello, my friends. Another data type that we have in the Python is a string. So a string are basically are a set of characters that we are showing that with the that they are included in the double quotation mark or single quotation mark. So you can use both of them. So they are not there is no difference between double quotation or single quotation, and both of them are correct. So imagine you are going to have name variable and you want to assign some string to this name variable. For example, the string is reservoir. So in this case, you need to write the reservoir term inside double quotation or single quotation and use equal sign to assign this reservoir to the name. Or for example, you have an oil and basically you want to you have a variable that shows the type of oil, and in this case it's a Brent type. So you can write the Brent type in the single quotation or double quotation, and this Brent is a string. And one important thing about the string is that, for example, if you have a name variable and assigned reservoir, so you have indexing in this reservoir. What I mean about indexing, it means that Python is going to assign R in the index 0, E in index number 1, S in index number 2, and so on to R in the last R in index 8. It means that each of these characters inside the string they have an index. So you can separate each of these characters inside the a string. So we can create a subset of strings from the main string. For example, if we want to separate this R, so what we need to say, we say that name and inside the bracket, if you write the name of the index, the number of index, you will get R. For example, in this case, the index number is 0, so if you write name 0, name inside the bracket, if you put 0, you will get R. And for example, if you want to separate SER from the reservoir, what you need to do is that you need to write name, and inside the bracket we are saying 2, starting index is starting from 2, 0, 1, 2, 2 is S, and up to 5. It means that I am going to have 2, 3, and 4 characters in my subset string, so it will be SER. The important things that you need to note is that in this kind of quotation, this type of separating a string substring, this one, the first index, which is 2, is included in the characters. For example, here we have 2, and 2 index is for S, so S is included in our sub string. And but 5, the last one, is not included. It means that if we start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it means that this 5 index V is not included in our substring. Another important thing is that we have a reverse indexing as well. For example, index number 8 is equal to index number -1 in the string. So we have -1, -2. For example, if we want to separate I, if we write name and inside bracket -2, we will get I. And also, for example, if we want to separate anything after, for example, res, I mean, for example, var, if we want to separate this sub section from our string, what we need to write is that we need to write the name of the variable, and inside bracket we are writing the index of the starting point, which is 3 in this case, and anything after 3. If we write it like this, we are going to get anything after index 3 till end of our string. So let's jump in the Jupyter and explore this a little bit more. For example, let's say I have a name, whatever we had, and we want to assign, for example, reservoir term, reservoir string to this name. So here, as you can see, I use the double quotation, and inside double quotation I write the reservoir. So this name variable, we can check the type of name, and it says that the type of name is a string. So we define the string variable in our case. So we want to, for example, separate name. For example, we want to say what is the name 0. Okay, name 0, it means that it's going to start from the 0 indexing 0, 1, 2, 3 till 8. So name 0 will be R. So let's check it. So yes, R is the name 0. Or for example, we want to see what is the, for example, index number 4. So index number 4 is R as well. So for example, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes, this R is the index number 4. Or if we want to, for example, separate some part of the, for example, this variable. So let's say name to separate from 2 to 5. So in this case, ER is going to separate it from our string. So another important thing is that you don't need to have, for example, one single word in the string. So you can have many words. For example, I am going to say oil, okay, and inside the oil, I am going to have a variable which is that this is a brand type oil. Okay, so this is a brand type oil is a string, and we assign this string to oil. So let's check it, and the type is a string. Okay, so here again you can use any of these to separate some subsection substring from the main strings. For example, if you want to separate brand, you can say, you can start from here. For example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's starting from 10. For example, oil, it's starting from 10 up to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So if I write this, you are going to have a brand here. So it should be 15 because we have one space here. So you can separate like this. For example, you have a brand here. Another things that you can do with the string is that you can say, for example, oil dot, and if you click on tab here, you can see that you have many things that you can use, many of the methods that you can use for the string. One of the important one is split. Okay, so what is going to do split is going to separate this string to the sub strings. For example, in this case, I'm going to say that I want to separate oil based on the space that we have here. So if I want to separate like that and write all that split, as you can see here, Python is going to separate the whole strings to the small strings based on the spaces that we have. So, and it's going to put that in a list. Okay, so I am going to talk about what is the list right now. And other things that you can do with the strings. So basically you can separate the strings based on any word. For example, let's say I'm going to separate based on A. So what you need to do is that I say that all that split. So, and based on what? Based on A. So if I write that Python is going to separate these two strings before A and after A. As you can see here, we are going to have two substrings. And other things that you can do with the string variable, and we are going to talk about that later. So let's jump in to talk a little bit about sets here. So